Hello, everyone, and welcome to my corner of the universe for the 17th day of Ecamm Live Vlogmas. 17 days. I've made it to day 17. I cannot believe I've made it consistently this far. This is a clean pad of paper, and underneath it is something that came today. I got the sweetest gift from a very good friend. I am quite excited to show you it, but we'll just wait just a second. I'm going to tell you a little bit about my friend, Marcia. Marcia is married to one of my best friends. He's a musician. Excuse me. I'm afraid that's going to be a hacky day today, because yet again the cough is just not helping out. My friend, Rick. Rick and I went to university together. We never dated. We were just good friends. Our parents thought each other were fabulous. His parents liked me a lot. My parents liked him a lot. Actually, my whole family loved Rick. They thought that we should get together, which was never going to be because we felt more friends than that kind of friend. And so when I moved over to the UK, to teach at an international school, music K through 12. In fact, almost all of my teaching career was K through 12. A year or two later, Rick joined me, and so we were part of a threesome of the music department for this international school. And Rick dated a bit and had some very good friends, and we got along just fine with people he dated. He liked my husband, Chris, a lot, and we went out a lot, and it was great. And then he met Marcia. And, well, it was all over then, because Marcia was just the right fit for Rick. And they got married same day my parents did. My parents were married on Thanksgiving Day. It never really fell on Thanksgiving again because, as you know, Thanksgiving is the fourth Thursday in November, and that date changes yearly, so only every once in a while does it come up on that date. But Rick and Marcia also got married on a Thanksgiving Day, and their wedding reception was a Thanksgiving dinner, including pumpkin pie. And I was the best man. I stood up for Rick. And it was a lovely day. Marcia looked beautiful, Rick looked very handsome, and you could see how much they cared about each other, and it could not have been a happier day. Now, they live a little bit further away. In fact, all of my friends who used to live here or near me here that I would see on a fairly regular basis have now moved to faraway places in the country. I've got good friends up in Scotland. I've got good friends in Wales. I've got good friends out in Norfolk. That's been it's nice. I love it for them because they're very happy with the next part of their lives and being in those places. I do go and visit. I haven't obviously visited that much in the last few years because of the universe being what the universe is. And my friends have taken really good care of me over that time, particularly those friends, because I didn't have a lot of people around here. Now, that doesn't mean I didn't have anyone here. In fact, I got closer to two people who I knew reasonably well, but we had never been really chums. We're not quite as chum as they are together, but that's okay too, and I enjoyed their company enormously, and they were here during the time that I needed them most, and were in touch daily, and I was in touch with them daily, and still am throughout the weeks, as life has progressed with being on my own. And Paula and Heather have been really super about that. Couldn't ask for better people to do that. But you have friends throughout your life. When you go to, well, nursery school, which I don't remember doing, so I think it was just the neighborhood for us, and I had friends who lived across the street and down the street. In fact, I had my first adult friend who was Jenny, and she lived down the street. And I think I made Jell-O with her, I think for the first time. No, not jelly, Jell-O for my UK friends. And we remained friends until, well, for a very, very long time. And we saw them all the way up until I moved over here, really. And they were not too far, when they did move, they were not too far away from the university I attended. So it was lovely to have them. My grade school friends, my friend across the street, she was a lovely dancer. We went to ballet class together. I was terrible. She practiced. She actually got to go on point. Me, I didn't understand the concept of practice. I thought you just went to ballet class and it was fun for the ballet class. And they came home and they went outside and played. We played outside a lot. We got dirty a lot. Well, I did. She didn't. We'd go to the summer camp thing, this day camp, where you'd come home for lunch and then you go back for the afternoon session. And I would come in totally filthy. And she would come in at noon for lunch and be pristinely clean as she was when she left in the morning. To say that I liked to get my hands dirty would be an understatement. I had friends down the street as well. There was a gentleman and his wife, and he was I can't remember if he was a builder or not, but let's say that he had tons of tools in his garage. And there was, these days, if you had said, well, there are going to be little kids who are playing in the garage with this old man, people would get a certain idea, which could not have been further from the truth. And that man taught me how to use a hammer and nails and a saw. And I don't think I ever cut myself or bruised myself overly. I still have all of my digits and all of my limbs. And he just liked kids. He liked working with kids and teaching kids. And there was safety involved. And he was a lovely guy. When we moved, I was at a new school, and I had a group of friends there for the second half of my lower school years. And those friends, I saw those friends quite a lot, all the way up until everyone got married. And then I was over here, and they were over there, and very seldom I saw them or spoke to them much again. But most of them were in the band or the choir, and we hung out together a lot. A lovely, talented group of people, just nice people, the kind of people that you want as friends growing up. High school was a little different. High school. I actually started high school, I could probably say my high school experience started the summer before I started as a freshman in high school. And that was because I was in the summer band program, and as a band, I was invited to take part in a trip that they were doing in the autumn, which was to Expo 67 in Montreal, and we were all going to go and play several concerts at the exposition and ride in a bus or a coach. People get really bent out of shape when you call them buses now. They have to be called coaches as opposed to a bus because it's a different concept. But back then, nobody cared. It was still, we called it a bus. We didn't call it a coach. Same thing. But we drove overnight all the way to Canada. And I remember getting my friend Linda and Rayanne and we got our first mini skirts that year. Now, our school had a very strict policy that girls had to wear skirts or dresses to school, and when you knelt down, they had to touch the floor. So they had to be a couple of inches sort of at the knee or just below the knee. And we thought we were just such something because our dresses, the skirts we bought in Canada, were about 3 inches above the knee. desperately scandalous, and I love that skirt. By my sophomore year, we were able to wear what were called pantsuits. A pantsuit was not just wearing jeans and a top, because you would never have been allowed to wear jeans to school, but you could wear an outfit that had trousers, or anyway, it had to be an outfit. And by the time I was in my junior and senior year, we were into mini skirts and everything else, and all the rules seemed to go out the window, which was great. University. Friends at university, I'm still in touch with a few. Obviously, Rick and I went to university together, and he had a group of friends, and I was friends with most of them. And one of the things I remember particularly about this time of year, Rick and his group of friends, or a couple of the other guys, lived just outside the university in a house. They had their own house, which they rented. And they had a Christmas party, and the Christmas party was the party to attend. Now, the deal was, as I recall, we did an amazing lessons and carols evening at the University of Valparaiso University, the Christmas concert, Christmas service, and the party would begin after, which meant it began about midnight and then went till, well, pretty late in the day. And it was brilliant. It was just brilliant. I was so lucky to be at Valpo at that time and to sing with Dr. Telshow and with Dr. Fleming and some wonderful other musicians and organ scholars and pianists and fabulous singers, and was good. And then I started out on my own, as you do. And I taught for a year, way out in, the other side of about 2 hours outside of Chicago. And I don't really have any friends left from that period of time. I was only there a year. And then I came back and taught, anyway, several years and closer to home and nearer to Valpo, and then I came over here, and I have been here ever since. And I still, of course, have friends from when I taught here. And because I have been fortunate to be what's called an animateur here, firstly through the British Federation of Young Choirs, which was a fabulous opportunity to work. Well, I was working in Harrow, not Harrow School, but the borough of Harrow, which Harrow School is in. And yes, I have performed at Harrow School with various friends. But I have so many good memories about being an animateur. And it means I've gotten to work all over the country. I've gotten to write some books. I've gotten to write some music. I'm not talking about that it's great art, but it works. And a lot of people enjoy the material. Anyway, that's not here what to talk about. We're talking about friends. But the friends I've had over here, I still have. Everybody has this group of friends who are their closest friends, and then they have the next group of friends who are their occasion friends, things that you do things with, whether you do concerts together or you go to theater together or you've done theater together or whatever. And that are kind of work friends, but more than work friends. And then you have the next tier out, who are people who are occasional friends that you are very happy to see, but you don't always see, don't see a lot. And I'm missing that closeness with friends at this point a bit. I think that's partly my fault, because I have been reticent to travel, and I have had since just before, when everything started going a little bit south here with my husband's illness, and I had been working a lot and was becoming quite burned out, and had had a couple of things occur that were not nice, but things happen in everybody's life. So I guess I haven't had any more than my fair share. But I developed a undiagnosed, but I found it very difficult to leave the house. Very, very difficult to leave the house, as in getting physically ill walking from the front door to the car. I was usually fine if I got in the car. I think it had something to do with being enclosed, and so we've been working on that. It's still a bit there, but it's not anything like it was several years ago and through the pandemic, which of course never helped any of that. But again, I am so ever so grateful that we had the internet and that we had video calls, messengers, that you were never totally alone unless you really, really wanted to be. And I was well taken care of by all of my friends and all of my colleagues during that time. So I don't know if you remember the other day, I was talking about having been ill because this stupid cold has been hanging on for what feels like forever, and it's all the catarrh and all of the delightful things that go with it. But I was talking about that when I was little and sick, my mom would get me brand new crayons and coloring books, which moms tended to do for my generation, is to get really fabulous crayons and coloring books. So imagine my surprise and total delight when I walked to the front door today and saw a package. And this is what was there. Here we go. Ready? It is a brand new, pristine, only just touched by human hands, fresh box of 64 crayons, which we're about to open now. And to say that only kids would find this enjoyable, I think is nuts. Let's see. Box opens this way. Well, it does. If I can open that part. Let's see if I can. I should probably be doing that with a pair of scissors or something. Well, I don't want to mark the crayons. Let's see if I can do it anyway. Because they open in a magic way. I haven't even looked at the crayon part yet. How exciting. This is so good. Fresh crayons, which are definitely going to get used over the Christmas holidays. And did you remember, I think it was one of the things that kids felt the most protective about is not sharing brand new boxes of crayons, is that other people wouldn't appreciate their crayons and might use them incorrectly or do something that would break a brand new crayon. Here we go. Oh my God, look at that. Look how fabulous that is. That is just... Oh, I've got one broken one. Oh, it's just one, but it's a brown one. It's all right. I think I might get my glue gun and just heat that up, and then I can just put that back on. But a brand new, pristine box of crayons. What more could one want? So I'm just going to leave this out here for you to enjoy and look at momentarily, and just think about, what would you draw if you had a brand new box of crayons? I've just discovered, or remembered, I had this pad of paper, which is pretty much empty. This is now going to be my crayon pad. I'm so excited. I'm going to go off and do some coloring in a bit. So, from my corner of the universe to yours, have a good one. See you tomorrow. Woohoo! It's day 17 of Ecamm Live Vlogmas, and we're about to open up Duckie number 17. I hope there's a ducky in there. I think yesterday was nothing in there. Well, let's see what happens today. Here we go. And See if I can do it this way today. Oh, I can. Excellent. Here we go. Is there something? Oh, looks like it could be. Oh, it's a little red ducky who will be turning copper sometime very soon. Hello, little ducky, and welcome to the Ducky Advent Calendar world. I'm going to call you George. See you tomorrow.